Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. Today we are celebrating with the lovely Helen Ding for her 500 subscribers celebration hop on YouTube, and I will have a link in the description box below to Helen's channel. She has challenged us to do tags, stitching, 2 or more photos, a white background, and either some doodling or mixed media, and I chose the mixed media for this one. I'm using Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Cottage Fields, which I bought a few things of. I think I bought 3 different items long ago at when Tuesday Morning was still open. I have 4 photos of this gorgeous sunset. We were on a Caribbean cruise, and I've decided that the tags are going to actually be the mats for these 3 smaller photos, and I'm going to put the stitching on the tags. And I have challenged myself here to use this very floral collection to create a very non-floral layout. And so I have gone ahead, the photos are matted in white, and then on the tags, I inked the edges of the tags. I think I've already done that. I created some hole reinforcers with some punches, and I go to put this last one on and realize, oh, I didn't punch a hole in this tag. So I grab my Crocodile. When I bought this 20 or more years ago, it was a pretty big purchase because my budget for scrapbooking then was pretty small, and I had no idea how long I would be using it. So for my mixed media, I have decided to use Nuvo drops kind of as ink or paint. I'm pretty sure I first saw this idea from MK Gunn from Some Assemblage Required. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's who I saw do this first. Others have done it too. So I showed you there that I just did a sample on some scrap paper. I'm using this stencil from Dusty Attic called Postcard. And I am just I mixed these 2 colors. One is Silver Mercury, Liquid Mercury, and the other is just white stone drops. Now the stone drops have some grit to them. That's why I'm working pretty hard to get this into the stencil, because it's got like this gritty stone finish. I love the idea of Nuvo drops, but I'm not good at using them because I tend to, when I use them as drops, my drops aren't the same color, or they're misshapen, or I set something on top of it before they're dry and I squish the drops. And so I wanted a different way to use those. And there you can see I've done all this stenciling, and I left that to dry overnight, and now after work I've come back to it. So I'm thinking about placement here, and I have my supplies out for stitching. I wasn't sure whether I was going to use the black floss on the left or the silver that's on the right. I ended up going with the black because I liked the contrast. And here I'm just checking off, thinking what I have done. So I have finished everything except the stitching, and so once I have that done, I will have the challenge completed. Pardon me. So to the left on the top there, you see my little pokey tool. It probably has a name, but I don't know what it is. And the template and a little cushion from Stampin' Up! To help me poke the holes evenly so they're spaced right. And this little thing of black embroidery floss is quite old, and the reason I know that is because the handwriting on there is my childish handwriting, and I'm 55, so it's gotta be 45 years old or so. That was fun to come across in my daughter's stash of embroidery thread. So I'm thinking here, I decided where I wanted the stitching to go. It's just going to go from corner to corner of that tag, straight across, but I will not stitch on the hole reinforcer. So I'm just going along and poking. The thing you see, the light blue thing that's to the right, I use that. It's a magnet, and I sometimes use it to keep my needles on or really small dies. And I just show you a little bit of stitching here. I don't have you watch nearly all of this. I enjoy stitching sometimes. It's a very calming, repetitive thing. Usually I do stitching while my husband and I watch something together on TV. Tonight the timing for that just didn't work out. He's actually out mowing because our yard has needed mowed for quite a while, but it has been so wet and swampy that we just couldn't do it. And we're leaving in a few days, so we need to. So this is my little hole threader or needle threader. It's got a loop of wire that you force through the hole of the needle, which is so fine that you don't see it very well on camera. You put your thread through there, and then you pull it back through the hole of the needle, and voila. I'm not good at threading needles, and so this has become very helpful to me. I'm not sure if that was my mom's or if Emily got that, but it's in my drawer now. And this is the final tag that I'm working on. And there I'm just adding or creating a knot. I'm putting my needle away. And then I did secure those threads with washi tape so that they are less likely to unravel. Put my glasses back on. And there. I'm happy with those. I like how they turned out. And so in a moment here, you're going to see that I bring back my white background. Cleaning up still. I didn't realize I left all this in the video. I thought that all got chopped out. I'm sorry. Anyway, here comes the white background again. And this is when I'm thinking, this white background, I really like it with that mixed media, but it needs some color. And I'm thinking about how do I want to add color, because I could do distress oxides, but I decided to pull out my Shimmerz paints because I haven't used these for a little while. And I chose 3 colors. I am using my Clementine, Gold and Roses, and Strawberry Fields. I just love their color names. And I'm thinking there about where I want to add the color. So I just open up these 3. I'm grabbing my water bottle right now, so my spray bottle, so that I can add some water. I try to keep, when I'm using more than 1 or 2, I try to keep them lined up with the lid beside the container so that I can make sure I don't get the wrong lid on the wrong container. So I just spray some water in, stir it around. I didn't even have a cup of water by me to clean off the brush in between. So I just sprayed some extra water on the brush when I needed to go back to the light one, the Clementine one. The Golden Roses is a very shimmery one. It's the blings kind that has extra shimmer in it. The Strawberry Fields and my Clementine are called creamies, and they're just like it says, they're more of a creamy color. Those are my favorites. Those are what I have ended up buying the most of from Shimmerz. And I just love this pale peach color. So pretty. And I just thought these 3 colors together gave a good background for the sunset photos. I am just plopping paint on this page. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I add some extra water. This is Daisy white cardstock, so I can add some water without it causing too much warping. There was a little bit, but once it was dry, it was fine. And there you can see on that cloth to the right, I just sprayed some water on my brush to be able to go back to the pale pink color, or pale peach color. And it does look like a hot mess, but once it is all done, I was happy with it. I think it's pretty. And I like how the blotchiness, not that, but like how these are just blops of color on there. They kind of mimic the rolling and the texture of the clouds on top. And there it is. And again, like I said, it looks like a hot mess, but once the photos are on, it looks really nice. Cutting some ribbon. This is old Stampin' Up! Ribbon. It's a silvery one. I kind of wanted to use my black string, but I have some black cord in my box, but it just wasn't, it looked too small for these more substantial size tags. So I just went with this one, trimming those down a bit. And I do end up moving them a little more to the right so that less of the ribbon hangs off the page. To put everything down on this page, because of the mixed media, I used my ATG and I used some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to help those adhere on top of all the stenciling and the paint. Trying to make sure these are straight. Now I'm using this. I knew from the beginning I wanted to use this foam title from the Cottage Fields collection that says beautiful. And I'm having to hold that down for quite a while. There's a lot going on the background beneath it, so I had to help it adhere. So now I've gone through and added some hearts, and you can see that I did add one floral embellishment on the top there, and that's because I needed something in that spot. I didn't have something non-floral that would work, and this worked color-wise. Even the yellow that's in it, there are some bits of yellow showing on the tags, and of course there's yellow, especially in the photo, on the lowest photo. So then I added some enamel dots, which I'm not sure that I'm happy with. I may go back and replace those with white enamel dots. I think they just stand out a little bit too much. I didn't do much journaling on here. This is part of a long series of layouts from our cruise, and some of those have extensive journaling. So this just tells that it was sunset and the date on our Caribbean cruise. So this is winding down. There's a still shot coming up in a moment. Thank you for joining me today. And be sure to check out Helen's channel below. You'll enjoy her videos, I'm sure. And congratulations to Helen. Bye, everyone.